Mysterious disappearance. Madeleine McCann. The disappearance that shocked the 21st century. 3 years old, blonde hair, eyes of a different color. Madeleine Beth McCann disappeared without a trace on the night of May 3, 2007, while her parents were having dinner less than 100 meters away. She has never been found. Millions of people still ask who took Madeleine and why Madeleine Beth McCann, known as Maddie, was just 3 years old when she went missing. She had sun-bleached hair and eyes with one blue pupil and one brown coloboma, a rare feature. Her parents, Jerry and Kate McCann, were doctors from Leicester, England. The family had been on holiday with friends at the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. The Ocean Club is a peaceful haven on the Algarve coast. Maddie and 2 other children sleep in apartment 5A on the ground floor, easily accessible from the outside entrance. Less than 100 meters away, a group of parents, 7 adults, known as the Tapas 7, are having dinner together, taking turns checking on their sleeping children. It is the unwritten rule of the group of friends to have private time while still ensuring the safety of the children. Madeleine Beth McCann, known as Maddie, was just 3 years old when she went missing. She had sun-bleached hair and eyes with one blue pupil and one brown coloboma, a rare feature. Her parents, Jerry and Kate McCann, were doctors from Leicester, England. The family had been on holiday with friends at the Ocean Club Resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. The Ocean Club is a peaceful haven on the Algarve coast. Maddie and 2 other children sleep in apartment 5A on the ground floor, easily accessible from the outside entrance. Less than 100 meters away, a group of parents, 7 adults, known as the Tapas 7, are having dinner together, taking turns checking on their sleeping children. It is the unwritten rule of the group of friends to have private time while still ensuring the safety of the children. Upon receiving the news, local police quickly arrived, but mishandled the situation. They sent officers from all over the area to cover the large area, but no crime scene early enough. Many people came and went freely, all traces were disturbed. For the first few hours, the police simply thought it was a lost child, a serious omission leading to the loss of important evidence. The media quickly got involved, exaggerating the disappearance. The case turned from a simple disappearance into an international case. Portuguese media laws are not strict, so reporters rushed in images of crying parents, mixed with crowds of people. Everyone was talking. A photo of Maddie with her father at the pool the morning of her disappearance became the last image. The small floral shirt and the distinctive eyes spread quickly, becoming a global icon. Many theories spread online. Some suggested following the path around the resort. Others suggested following the black car that appeared at night. Strangeness and remaining questions. Can Maddie leave the apartment by herself? The window was open, but the child was not tall enough to open it easily. Does anyone know the parent's schedule? Is there any sign of a stalker, or is the stalker taking advantage of the quiet? From a crowded resort, no one heard anything, not even car horns warnings. How did the baby disappear so easily? From the very beginning, the police paid special attention to one detail, due to Jane Tanner, provided by a member of the Tapas 7 group. Approximately row 5. She passed through the corridor near apartment number 5A. In the dim light, Jane was sure she saw a man holding a baby girl wearing light-colored nightgown go through in the opposite direction. The strange thing is, Jerry McCann, Maddie's father, was also standing near that spot at the time, but don't see anyone passed by. This puzzled investigators. Did Jane really see the right moment? Or did the light and anxiety cause her to misremember later sketches based on Jane's description spread throughout Europe? But no one confirmed the man's identity, and his traces gradually disappeared like Maddie's. Robert Murat, a British man who lived near the resort, became the first prime suspect. He had been an enthusiastic helper of the police from the very beginning, acting as a translator and a reporter's guide. However, some reporters felt he was too familiar with the crime scene. Police searched Murat's home, examining his computer and phone, but found no clear evidence. However, several witnesses, including friends of the Tapas 7, testified that Murat was seen around Maddie's apartment the night of the incident. Murat denied. Police were forced to temporarily stop investigating him. Robert Murat was later officially exonerated, but his name remained associated with the case in the public mind. One controversial detail is the window in Maddie's bedroom, believed to be the point of entry. When Kate discovered her daughter missing, the window was wide open, the curtains flying. However, the investigation team discovered no signs of vandalism, no signs of forced entry or broken frames. The only fingerprints found were of Kate McCann. Climbing through a small window at night, holding a child without making a sound, was considered very difficult. The question arises, was the window opened later to create a fake scene? A British witness, Gail Cooper, testified that a few days before the disappearance, she saw a man loitering near apartment 5A, pretending to be raising money for charity. He stared at Maddie as she played in the yard. From Gail's account, the artist sketched a man with a thin face, black hair, and empty eyes. The picture was widely circulated, but like many other clues, his identity was never verified. Many theories suggest that Maddie's disappearance was not a random act, but an organized kidnapping. Evidence several other families at the resort also reported people knocking on their doors, asking about charity, but only targeting apartments with children. Strange vehicles appeared several times near the resort, especially in the afternoon before the incident. Several witnesses said they saw the man looking into Maddie's apartment window for days. Has someone been monitoring the McCann family's schedules, waiting for the golden moment, when Maddie was alone and the ground floor apartment was easily accessible? On May 2nd, just one day before the incident, a call was made to the resort's receptionist's phone number, asking for information about families with young children. The call was anonymous. Also that day, the security camera near the resort gate was disabled for about 20 minutes. Are these events related, or just coincidence? Who was the man Jane Tanner saw? Was he the culprit? Why were there so many strangers around the apartment complex just days before the disappearance? Is the open window evidence, or a staged crime scene? In the next episode, we delve into the forensic clues, from DNA traces to what the sniffer dog found inside the apartment. Data that shocked the world and raised questions about Maddie's parents. After weeks of fruitless searching, Portuguese police with British support decided to bring forensic analysis into the center of the investigation. Apartment 5A, where Madeleine disappeared, was sealed off for a thorough re-examination. They used special chemicals and lights to detect blood, hair, skin cells, any trace that Maddie had been injured or taken by force. The initial results were shocking: tiny traces of blood on the wall near the sofa, which were said to match Maddie's DNA, but not strong enough to be absolutely certain. In July 2007, a special investigation team from England was sent, bringing with them two extremely special police dogs, Eddie and Keela. Eddie is trained to detect the scent of dead bodies. Keela specializes in finding blood traces. They were taken to apartment 5A. What happened next stunned everyone. Eddie sniffed and reacted violently behind the sofa in the living room, where police had found blood. Dogs then detected the scent of a corpse in the boot of the McCann family's Renault Scenic hire car, but the car had been hired weeks after Maddie went missing. Eddie also reacts when checking Kate McCann's clothes and her teddy bear Cuddle Cat, an item that Maddie always carries with her. Blood and tissue samples were sent to the Forensic Science Service Laboratory in Birmingham, UK. Results: some samples had 1519 genes that matched Maddie, but not enough to be 100% sure. Scientists say it cannot be ruled out that this sample belongs to Maddie, but it cannot be certain. One controversial detail: the trunk where the dogs detect odors is used to carry trash and old clothes, leading to the possibility of cross-contamination of odors. On September 7, 2007, after months of investigation, Portuguese police officially named Jerry and Kate McCann as suspects arguidos. Reason: response of the service dog. Contradictions in the initial testimony of the Tapas 7 group. There were no obvious signs of forced entry. It is hypothesized that Madeleine may have died in an accident, and her parents tried to cover it up. Public opinion began to divide. Some believe the McCann couple are innocent and have been treated unfairly. Others said their behavior was too calm, too communicative of pain, and maybe hiding something. During the 11-hour interrogation, Kate McCann was asked 48 questions. She only answered the last question; the rest she kept her right to remain silent according to the law. This raised many suspicions, although her lawyer explained that the police were trying to trap her with leading questions. Many people criticize Kate and Jerry because Create Maddie's Fund, to pay for publicity and hire a detective, regularly appears on television, including talk shows. Don't cry in front of the camera; sometimes it seems cold. But psychologists say the reactions of parents who have lost a child are varied, and it is impossible to impose a sad script on all of them. They may be in a state of chronic shock or just trying to hold on and keep fighting. The British press began to criticize the Portuguese police, claiming that they were unprofessional and blaming the parents for not finding the real killer. Meanwhile, the Portuguese press launched a series of shocking theories, causing the McCann family to be severely attacked. The legal media and psychological battle reached its climax. The McCann family was torn between two opposing public opinions. Two people sat across from the interrogation table. Their eyes were tired, their faces cold as steel. They were Jerry and Kate McCann, Madeleine's parents. But today they were no longer seen as victims. They were declared arguido, the official suspect in the disappearance of their own daughter. From the first hours after the disappearance, some officers sensed something was wrong. Kate, Maddie's mother, did not cry when she called the police. She said she was unusually calm. Jerry, when asked what happened, was very specific, as if reading a medical report. For the Portuguese police, not used to the cool British manner of expression, this was a sign of unusual restraint. From emotion to analysis in a matter of hours. They don't sound like parents who have lost a child. They sound like people trying to control the narrative. 3 weeks after the disappearance, the McCann family rented a Renault Scenic for more convenient travel. Cadaver dogs were brought to Portugal, and the results shocked the world. The smell of death was detected in apartment number 5A near the wardrobe. The smell of death and signs of blood were found in the trunk of the rental car. One of Madeleine's toys also reacted to the service dog. DNA analysis in the UK produced a likely match to Madeleine, but not enough to conclusively establish a prosecution. Public opinion began to lean toward a hypothesis: Madeleine died in the apartment, and her parents tried to cover it up. In September 2007, Kate was summoned to police headquarters to answer 48 questions. But on legal advice, she refused to answer 41. Some sentences like, "Why is the room window open?" "Who was the last person to see Madeleine?" "Did you kill Madeleine?" Kate kept quiet. Portuguese media immediately attacked the image of the cold mother. The press asked, "If you are innocent, why don't you say anything?" In Britain, the press sided with the family. A family pushed into a corner. Portuguese police lack professionalism. They are a modern-day witch hunt. In Portugal, it's a different story. Was Maddie's death an accident? Do they use sleeping pills? Is there evidence they moved the body? A rumor spread quickly Madeleine might have died in her bedroom, and her parents had staged her disappearance. On September 7, 2007, Jerry and Kate McCann were officially announced as suspects. Police said they were not under arrest, but were under investigation. The McCann family immediately returned to Britain, refusing to return to Portugal. The breakdown in cooperation with the investigation was becoming increasingly apparent. In the eyes of many, sin is no longer unthinkable. Immediately after suspicions were raised, the McCann family hired media consultants, public relations experts, and even senior British lawyers. They appeared on television, gave exclusive interviews, and emphasized the message, "We are victims." We are being abused by the very investigative system. Madeleine is still alive, and we will not give up. Some people praise them for their mental strength, but many people are sarcastic. Is this a parent losing a child, or a politician launching a campaign? In July 2008, nearly a year after he was named a suspect, the Portuguese prosecutor's office announced there was not enough evidence to prosecute Jerry and Kate McCann. The title of arguido was removed. The case file was transferred to unresolved archive status, but their honor was never the same. Were the police wrong to suspect the parents, or did they actually have a truth that they could not prove? If not the parents, then who could have quietly taken a child out of that apartment? And why is there still no clear physical trace despite all the resources mobilized? British police have announced Operation Grange, a reinvestigation into the Madeleine McCann case. After 4 years of controversy, the case has now officially crossed the borders of Portugal and become the biggest manhunt in modern history. With a budget running into tens of millions of pounds, hundreds of suspects were considered. And around the world, leads began pouring in from unexpected places. Soon after the Madeleine case broke out globally, Interpol and Europol got involved. The FBI from the U.S. also sent psychologists and investigators to assist. 5,000-plus witness statements collected. 8,000-plus missing child notices issued. Maddie's case is a top priority in more than 30 countries. Cases of missing children, child abuse, or suspected kidnapping in Morocco, Spain, Canada, Australia, South Africa, etc. are all reviewed. But the more information poured in, the further away the truth became. In 2013, the BBC's Crime Watch program released a sketch from eyewitnesses. A man aged 30-40 thin, carrying a backpack, was seen around the resort the night Madeleine disappeared. A witness said he left in a hurry carrying a child that looked like Maddie heading east, very close to where Jane Tanner had described him. For the first time in years, the public feels we have a face. Scotland Yard and Europol do not rule out a terrifying possibility Madeleine was kidnapped to order by a human trafficking ring that preyed on young children. Why Maddie is white blonde with distinctive eyes, an easy model to target in the underground market. Praia da Luz is an area that has been warned about cross-border crime, including human trafficking and child pornography. During the same year, several other missing child cases in the Algarve also went unsolved. Some investigators believe Maddie may have been sold to another country within hours of her disappearance. From Morocco, a woman said she saw a girl who looked like Maddie with a group of strangers. In Spain, a camera captured the image of a blonde girl being dragged into a car. In Australia, a neighbor said she had just adopted a baby girl who looks a lot like Madeleine. Every lead was followed, but then DNA said no. No one was Madeleine. Investigators began to tire in the maze of misinformation. June 2020. 13 years after the disappearance, German police made a shocking statement. We are investigating a suspect named Christian Bruckner, who was present near the scene on the night Madeleine disappeared. Christian B., German, has a criminal record for child abuse and used to live in Praia da Luz, and especially his phone received a call near apartment 5A right at the time of the incident. He owns an old yellow camper van, which has been seen around the resort. A fellow inmate testified that Christian once bragged about having made a baby disappear forever. An official German investigation has been opened, and for the first time in more than a decade, police have announced, "We believe Madeleine is dead." Although Christian B.'s record is filled with crimes ranging from rape to child molestation, there is no Maddie's DNA in his house or car, no direct witnesses, no camera, no evidence. All is circumstantial data, strong, but not enough to make an indictment. Public opinion is divided. He is the most suspicious of all. Or is this another time of finding a scapegoat because of a deadlock? This is no longer the case of a missing 3-year-old girl. This is the confrontation between the legal system and international public opinion. A lesson in the limits of global communication. A story of parental perseverance, or obsession with millions of dollars spent and thousands of articles written, Madeleine has yet to return. Where was Madeleine taken? Is the girl alive, being raised somewhere with a new name, her memories erased? Or has the case been so cleverly erased that there are no clues left to cling to? And if anyone knows what happened, why haven't they spoken up? Braunschweig, Germany, 2020. In an interrogation room, a man with thin hair, deep-set eyes, and a face as cold as stone sat silently. His name was Christian Bruckner. German police believe, after more than 13 years of searching, that this is the man who took Madeleine McCann away. Christian B. was born in 1976, German nationality. He had a troubled childhood, moved to an orphanage at a young age, and was convicted of child molestation when he was just over 18 years old. He moved to Portugal in 1995, drifting between Lagos and Praia da Luz, working as an electrician, a barman, and a night thief. He lives homeless, in an old yellow camper van. Sometimes he sleeps in a makeshift house on the hillside with no clear address. A neighbor said he kept his distance, but there was something about it that made me shiver, like I was watching a predator waiting for an opening. Police confirmed that Christian was in Praia da Luz in May 2007, right around the time Maddie went missing. His phone received a 30-minute call ending at 8:02 p.m. on May 3rd, just over half an hour before Kate discovered Madeleine missing. The location is near apartment number 5A, too close to be random. Besides, his camper van was filmed at the Ocean Club Resort, a silver Jaguar XJR that he registered, later changed name, just 24 hours after the disappearance. Why so urgent? During the investigation, German police discovered hundreds of child pornography and rape videos were found on old storage devices hidden in a warehouse he had rented. A fellow inmate said that Christian once said, "I know how to catch a child and leave no trace." Once while drunk, he bragged that he had made a little girl disappear without anyone finding her. Another haunting detail. His van had been modified with a floor and a rear door, large enough to hide a small child. German police admit Madeleine's DNA was not found. There were no witnesses who saw Christian take Maddie away. No camera, no obvious trace. The entire argument relies on a series of peripheral facts, location matches, suspicious behavior, criminal history. But to convict a criminal, especially in an international case, requires more solid evidence than that. From prison, Christian repeatedly asserted, "I had nothing to do with Madeleine. This is a frame-up because I have a bad past." His lawyer announced, "No one can prove my client was anywhere near the scene. They are creating a scapegoat." German legal community divided. One side says, "We have strong circumstantial evidence." One side warned, "Without physical evidence, there is a risk of a complete failure of prosecution." Christian B. is not only a suspect in the Madeleine case. He has rape of a 72-year-old woman in Praia da Luz, less than 500 meters from apartment 5A, just 18 months after Maddie went missing. Investigated the disappearance of German girl Inga Gericke in 2015. Arrested in Italy for drug trafficking. Possessed a list of charges ranging from theft to rape, child molestation, possession of obscene material. An inspector once described him, Christian B., is the type of predator who makes no effort to hide, because he knows the system is always one step behind him. To this point, Christian B. has not been charged in the Madeleine McCann case. The case is still being investigated by 3 countries, Portugal, Germany, and the UK, but no criminal charges have been brought. Public opinion is increasingly worried. If he didn't do it, then who? If he did it, why hasn't he been prosecuted yet? Or are we all lost in a logical maze with no way out? Christian Bruckner, a dangerous wanderer, or just a victim of collective despair? If he really was the kidnapper, why didn't he leave any traces? And if it's not him, then who is hiding out there? Praia da Luz, 17 Anos Depois. Apartment 5A is now empty. No one rents it anymore. The walls are repainted, the curtains are new, but memories still hang in that window. Not the paint, but the unspoken. Assuming Christian Bruckner was the culprit, what is the most likely motive? Child molestation fits his criminal record. Human trafficking, Praia da Luz has been flagged as a transit point. Custom order, a creepy theory. Maddie was chosen because of a rare physical trait, ocular coloboma. German police believe that Christian don't act randomly. He watches the apartment closely when his parents go out to eat and knows exactly what to do. And that's the scariest part. He doesn't find victims randomly, he chooses. If Christian B committed the crime, then why no DNA, no blood, no hair? Why call near the scene at the exact moment of the disappearance? Instead of avoiding all electronic signals, why didn't anyone see him? Even though there were hundreds of people in the resort at the time, an experienced criminal like Christian, could he be so negligent, or is he really irrelevant? And we're clinging to a perfect candidate simply because he's so suspicious. Hypothesis 1, someone inside the resort. An employee with an access card knows Maddie's parents' hours. No need to break the door, no noise. Accessible without suspicion. None of the employees were investigated or formally suspected, and none disappeared after the night of May 3rd. Hypothesis 2, a member of the Tapa 7 group. They know exactly when their parents leave the table. Some statements do not match the timing of the child's test. The man holding the child could be one of them, but no one claims to be him. But why kidnap your child? For what motive? The police never officially pursued this line of inquiry. Hypothesis 3. Accident in the room. Maddie wakes up, goes out by herself, and gets into an accident. Someone found the body and decided to hide it instead of calling the police. Is it reasonable to have the smell of death in the apartment and rental car? But the police never found a body. There was no sign that she had left the room on her own. The truth is, 17 years on, not a single physical trace has been found. Nobody. No DNA. No tire tracks. No camera. A child disappears in the modern world without a trace. It's either impossible or someone did it perfectly. The biggest flaw, it's time between 20:30 and 21:30. No one, except Jane Tanner, saw the man carrying the child. Any nearby cameras not checked thoroughly enough. Leaked files. Questioned evidence. Police between 3 countries. No consensus. German police say they know Maddie is dead, but have not revealed any evidence of that. British police still believe Madeleine may be alive, but have released no evidence to support that belief. Portuguese police have almost closed the case, and all 3 countries could not give a final answer. Jerry and Kate McCann never stopped searching. They founded the Find Madeleine Foundation. They met the Pope, appeared on television, wrote books, and traveled. But they were also the target of attacks, being accused of being too controlling of images, suspected of staging, accused of misusing donated money. But after all, they are just parents who want to know what happened to their daughter. If Madeleine were still alive, she would be 20 years old now, maybe living under a different name, maybe never knowing who she was. If she was gone, why has no one ever confessed, come forward, or accidentally left a trace? And if this case is never solved, is it a failure of the police, or the ultimate victory of a man who knows that silence is the most powerful weapon? Is this really an isolated case, or part of a series of strange disappearances? Europe, 2004 to 2015. Many children have disappeared. No warning, no blood, no screams, and most never found. Madeleine McCann is the most famous name, but maybe not the only one. On May 7, 2015, almost 8 years after Madeleine disappeared, 5-year-old Inga Gericke went on a picnic with her family in the forests of Saxony-Anhalt, eastern Germany. The girl disappeared just minutes after leaving the group to go find firewood. No drag marks, no blood, no screams. Police searched 3,000 hectares of forest, but not a trace. The suspect, Christian Bruckner. He lived nearby at the time and had been arrested for possession of child pornography. but was never charged. The question is, 2 cases 8 years apart. Same mysterious disappearance, same nobody. Same connection to Christian B. Random, or a pattern Corolla, 16 years old, German on summer vacation in the seaside town of De Haan, Belgium. On July 5, 1996, she walked along the beach and never returned. 3 days later, her body was found in the woods, brutally raped and murdered. Witnesses said Corolla had been talking to a blonde German tourist with a strange accent. What suspicious Christian B was in Belgium at the time, but he was never prosecuted. Past crimes always leave traces, but this time have the traces been erased by time disappearances around the Algarve. Before and after Maddie 2004, an 8-year-old Portuguese girl disappeared in Lagos, just 5 kilometers from Praia da Luz. Family reported missing after child played at beach. No evidence of abduction, no body was found. 2006. A 7-year-old Dutch boy has gone missing while on holiday with his parents in Albufeira. The police said maybe you got lost, but no one ever found you. All the cases have something in common. Young white traveling missing during the day or dusk. No clear witnesses, nobody found. When there are 3 mysterious disappearances, it could be a coincidence. But when there are 6, 7, that's a pattern. Some independent investigators hypothesize that there is a transnational child kidnapping network targeting young travelers in Europe. Proof Italian police once discovered a human trafficking gang using camper vans, changing license plates, moving through France, Spain, Portugal. People like Christian B do not act alone, but are the last line in the child collection system. Many orders from black organizations wanted to buy white children, light hair, ages 3 to 6. A retired detective who once investigated human trafficking rings said, "If you think Madeleine is an isolated incident, you are blind to the terrifying reality of the underground market." Interpol once warned many predators act like tourists. They sneak in during the tourist season, pick their target act for a few minutes, and then disappear. Praia da Luz has no cameras. No visitor lists are checked. No one monitors nighttime activity. The Madeleine case was notable only because her parents were doctors British, and the British media got involved so vigorously. What about other cases not reported in the press? No global campaign, no international pressure. A former Interpol employee said, "The attention should be shared equally, but the media always picks one face and leaves the others behind. If we connect all the cases, same region Algarve, Western Europe, same type of victim, same time, April, July. Nobody found, what do we have? A model, a chain, a system that Madeleine alone knew the world by name. But knowing the name does not necessarily save. Do you believe that Madeleine was just the victim of a loner? Or is she, like the other children, part of a chilling picture that the world refuses to look directly at? In the next episode, if there is one, we will return to Madeleine's family, memories, doubts that have never been erased, and the final question how to live on, without goodbyes,